Earlier this week, USA Today contributor Oren Dorel wrote the Gateway Pundit to ask a few questions about our mention on the Russian conspiracy website Alliance for Securing Democracy. The Alliance for Securing Democracy calls itself a dashboard tracking Russian propaganda on Twitter. But its real purpose is to smear websites supportive of Donald Trump and his accomplishments as Russian propaganda. The Advisory Council for Alliance for Securing Democracy includes several never-Trumpers and far-left hacks including Michael Chertoff, Bill Kristol, Michael Morell, Mike McFaul, Jake Sullivan, and Nicole Wong. Oren wrote in writing to seek your input for an article about a number of U.S. websites, including the Gateway Pundit, that are included on a regular basis in tweets by a Russian network said to be spreading propaganda and disinformation useful to the Kremlin. The network of 600 Twitter accounts has been compiled by the German Marshall Fund of the United States Alliance for Securing Democracy under the moniker Hamilton 68 Dashboard. The Alliance says the network is a subset of thousands of accounts that amplify messages helpful to the Kremlin, with themes that highlight divisions in U.S. society and the Republican Party, and between the U.S. and its allies, with a purpose of supporting leaders that Russia considers helpful, and sowing discord and confusion and weakening Russia's adversaries in the West. Its director, Laura Rosenberger, says of the websites that are repeated by this network just being shared by Kremlin information operations does not mean they are part of the Kremlin's disinformation operations. It just means something on these sites, or a lot of things on these sites, is either advancing a message the Kremlin is trying to push or that it is trying to discredit. What do you think of the Gateway Pundit being portrayed as a darling of Russian propagandists? Here was my response. We wrote about this site, http://www.thegatewaypundit.com. 201708 Lee's left-wing smear machine lists Gateway Pundit a Prussia propaganda website. It is complete rubbish. The Gateway Pundit has been under constant attack by globalists and Hillary-supporting websites. The website's real purpose is to smear websites supportive of Donald Trump and his accomplishments as Russian propaganda and to silence those who support Donald Trump. The far left understands that the Gateway Pundit was the fourth most influential right-leaning media outlet during the 2016 election, and now they are trying to destroy us. http://www.thegatewaypundit.com. 201708 Study how the Gateway Pundit helped President Donald Trump win the 2016 US presidential election. Of course, we have no connection to the Russians, nor have we ever had contact with any Russian officials. It is the latest conspiracy to take down Trump and those who support him. Jim Hofdoren then asked you denying that the Gateway Pundit with other U.S. right-wing media and Russian media amplify each other's messages. The allegation is not that you or anyone at the Gateway Pundit work directly with Russian officials, but that Russians see your website as useful for whatever reason. Do you think they have U.S. interests in mind? How do you feel about them using your site to advance their purposes, or do you deny that they're doing it at all? A lot of the big stories during the 2016 campaign were based on information that U.S. intelligence said was stolen by hackers directed by the Kremlin and provided to WikiLeaks. The Gateway Pundit was one of the major propagators of those stories, and its readership grew tremendously. Now GMF is documenting Russian efforts to amplify your reach through a combination of official and fake accounts. Do you agree with GMF and others that the Russians are trying to influence the American public for their own interests? Why is that okay? Here is our response. Russia Today, the most influential Russian media source in the West, hosts far-left anti-American pundits who have their own shows. No right-wing pundit has any say on the site. Russian media tends to cover more anti-American far-left stories and elevate far-left hacks significantly more than conservative Trump supporters. No proof has been released that show Russia gave the info to WikiLeaks. In fact, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has said numerous times that Russia was not the source of the leaks. Only time will tell. Thanks, Jim. On Thursday the article was published with this headline: Breitbart, other alt-right websites are the darlings of Russian propaganda effort. Breaking Breitbart, other alt-right websites are the darlings of major Russian propaganda effort. https://t.cofsite1eo at USA Today at USA Today August 24, 2017. The far left knows that by defining Breitbart and the Gateway Pundit as alt-right they are making us political targets. The Nazi groups and white supremacists consider themselves alt-right. The Gateway Pundit has been a top conservative website for years in America. As mentioned earlier, the far left understands that the Gateway Pundit was the fourth most influential right-leaning media outlet during the 2016 election, and now they are trying to destroy us. By defining us as alt-right, they are hoping we get the same beatdown and abuse as we've seen at dozens of Trump rallies this past year by the alt-left. Finally, an honest voice greater than a tank. This country has been roiled by left-wing violence for more than a year. https://t.cop23vtd3a Jim Hoft at Gateway Pundit, August 23, 2017. The liberal mainstream media knows we are effective and have not yet been able to silence us. So now they are just hoping we get a good bloody beatdown when we go out in public.